I've tried to make a video about what I want out of Grand Theft Auto 6. It sucked. I just rambled on about Rockstar's linear mission design with barely any nuance. In a nutshell, it was basically just, instructions are bad. I still have thoughts to share on the subject, but for the time being, it's a topic for a different video, because there's been a development. This isn't a news channel, okay? You know what the fuck happened. And don't try denying it either. All I have to say is,
finally, I see the light at the end of this very long tunnel.
but love is a long road, I guess. Anyways, yeah, Grand Theft Auto 6 looks great so far. The insane graphics, the Oscar bait story, the ass-cheek jiggle physics.
Now, this is epic.
It's all here, but what has me totally jacked more than anything is Leonida Man.
Man, what the fuck is you talking about? What the fuck was that?
I'm sorry, man.
My favorite part of any Rockstar game has always been running into random weirdos, which is a legitimate reason to enjoy a game.
I'm an unusual kind of creature.
The horse fucker, the border patrol guys, and of course, my top pick for America's hottest incestual couple. I remember all these fine acquaintances like the back of my hand.
Shoot a bottle off my head.
I'm kind of retarded.
Rockstar's typical formula of filling their worlds with strangers and random events has always been a really good way of getting me to actually explore. Never knowing what eccentric character you're gonna stumble upon next is fun.
Yo, sup?
But that's where my concerns for Grand Theft Auto 6 begin. Based on the trailer, this world looks fucking massive. And don't get me wrong, I want GTA 6 to be big, but what I fear is for GTA 6 to only be big. To only be another open world that's more wide than it is deep. If there is one thing I hate about modern gaming more than anything, more than greedy microtransactions, more than the wannabe movie game, it's useless features. It's a lack of focus. It's this wanting to be the biggest game ever made without actually having a real vision.
All of this takes place in the largest action-adventure open world Ubisoft has ever done.
That's great. That's great.
You can flex having 18 quintillion planets in your game and I still won't give a shit. Sure, it's a nice technical achievement, I guess, but unless those planets are more interesting than Hank's minerals, then I'm not gonna care. A game that has endless content doesn't automatically win me over. I don't want endless shit to do. I want an adventure that I'll never forget. It's possible to make a satisfying open world game feel endless. I've seen it. But if the best compliment you can give your open world is that it's big, you already failed. What killed Starfield for me wasn't the bugs or the typical RPG bullshit. No, what killed the game for me was the vast amount of nothing being framed as places you'd actually want to visit. Even though in reality, they were almost all just...
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
You can't fake exploration. You can't shit out a planet-sized rock and call it cutting-edge world design. If you want me to actually take the time to explore a world, you have to take the time to give it more character and less features.
Did you see my form? Ha! Perfect!
When you think of Grand Theft Auto 5, a few things might come to mind. Maybe it's the time you went on a killing spree. Maybe it's Franklin's yee-ass haircut. Or maybe it's Trevor saying,
Oh, my N-word, huh?
Nice.
Nice.
But I can't say that exploration is the first thing I think of. Which is kinda weird because this game is classified as an action-adventure game. I wish I could remember it for all the wild personalities such as the cloud-obsessed cameraman, the James Woods weed activist, and this fucking lady. But I think I know the reason why I struggle to remember all these wacky characters. Golf. Tennis. yoga. I am 10,000% serious when I say why. Why are these features here? Who are they for? How do they make the game better? Whenever I think of the exploration of this game, I'm always reminded of these tacked-on time wasters. It's a game about stealing cars and committing crime. How do I know this? Well, besides the obvious. The only time I'm legitimately playing golf and having fun at the same time is when I'm running around like a maniac beating the shit out of Castro with a golf club. Right now, people are making wishlist videos of what features they want to appear in Grand Theft Auto 6. Minigames, complex decision-making, romanceable NPCs, child murder. And you know what? I fucking hear you. Rockstar has enough money to end world hunger and it would be better spent on adding an in-depth knitting minigame. Actually, you know what? The child murder would be genuinely innovative. It was Red Dead 2's biggest flaw.
Oh God, don't shoot me!
What makes me horny about Red Dead 2's world is that you could pick any direction and almost always have a memorable adventure, bouncing from one strange event to the next. Carefully spacing out a series of unique scenarios that utilize the whole world is the most basic way to do exploration effectively. The dumb distractions are still here, which I do hate, but I never really noticed them because of the game's clear focus on exploration.
They only want it.
What the hell is even that?
But crossing paths with mental patience isn't just fun to do. It's also a great way to characterize a world and make it feel living, and YouTubers will never pass up a chance to tell you about how alive Red Dead 2's world is.
The wilderness in Red Dead 2 is not just a space to traverse, it's a character in its own right, dynamic, alive, and ever-changing. Setting up camp under the stars, the world around you feels alive and real.
You're not just wrong, you're stupid.
Here's the thing, Red Dead 2's world isn't alive because you can play dominoes, or because you can make footprints in the mud, or the fact that NPCs have full-day schedules. You could cut all these features and I'd still consider Red Dead 2's world to be more alive than any other I stepped foot in. Why? Well, I'm in Saint Denis. And not so long ago, Elon Musk told me to meet him at his laboratory. Why? I don't know, I guess he's fond of Arthur's raw genius. But that's a fucking long ride. Whatever. There's probably some kind of money reward at the end. But on my way there, I was interrupted. I got held up by some redneck hillbillies telling me to get off their land. I stumbled upon whatever the fuck this thing was, and I may or may not have beaten the shit out of a mentally disabled person. You get the idea. Interesting shit happens wherever you go. Red Dead 2's world is big, but it has enough wild moments to transform an otherwise boring ride to the next town into its own story. I especially love that the game never really tells you where anything is ahead of time. The world doesn't reveal itself until you decide to actually explore it. It's fucking brilliant, and I wish every other open world game would take notes. But nah, it's icons. Icons are the innovative future of living and breathing open world exploration.
Please kill me.
Based off the first trailer, Grand Theft Auto 6 appears to take place in a parody of, now I had to do a lot of research for this, Miami. It's YouTubers like me who make education possible. The state of Florida is sorta tailor-made for being the location of a Grand Theft Auto game. It contains reckless driving, cocaine, and Americans.
Congratulations, you're hired.
Okay.
And I mean, do I even have to explain what a Florida man story is?
Just make sure you tell them to watch out for Florida, man.
I myself am surprisingly not a Florida resident, but the folklore surrounding the state holds major potential for being a world that I want to get lost in. Hanging out with Scarface in the club, followed by getting chased by a grandma dual-wielding hammers to then getting fed to a Florida man's alligator sounds like a great way to make this parody of Miami come to life. But the question to be asking is, will it learn from its past? I've seen these images of what the Grand Theft Auto 6 map is supposed to look like, and it's been giving me PTSD flashbacks. I'm scared that half of this world is just gonna be a monument to wasted space, and instead resort to pushing stupid bullshit that isn't fun. I'd like for the game to heavily pull from what made Red Dead 2's world so fun to explore, but from all the literal empty space I'm seeing, I'm still a bit worried. Obviously, none of these images are set in stone. Trying to find credible leaks for GTA 6 is like coming to me for good videos.
I have no talent.
I know my demands for good exploration above everything else might seem a little unreasonable, and in all honesty, they probably are. There's a lot that Grand Theft Auto 6 should improve upon.
Now pick it up so it'll clear the other containers and move it down to the end. Take us to the other end. Bay number 5. Further, come on!
What is this, Season 2 of The Wire? Ugh, that's not even a good comparison. That season fucking slaps.
Gishy, gushy, gushy, mishy, meshy, mushy, motherfucker.
The thing I can't express enough, though, is that I want Grand Theft Auto 6 to be big. Of course I do. It's goddamn Grand Theft Auto. If there was ever something that deserved to be over the top, it's this series. I just hope my time isn't wasted by wandering around miles of empty swamps after the fortune I end up paying for the damn thing.
$860. What?
Right now, there's a bigger hype train for Grand Theft Auto 6 than anything ever. Like, nothing is going to be able to compete in 2025. You could throw a Kanye West album, Half-Life 3, whatever it is that you're thinking of, all in that same year, and it still wouldn't come close to the game where you steal cars for the 6th time. But what scares me more than anything is that this massive game that's been carefully crafted for years is just going to turn out to be another closet full of dumb features, and not a world ripe for adventure. I'm excited for the setting, but I'm fearful that this game's world will just be known for being big. Time will tell whether or not Rockstar will have learned from their past. I'm not a pessimist. For the most part, I actually have a lot of faith that Rockstar will just absolutely land the exploration. And if they don't, well, at least there will be titty and ass physics.
That there's a video game worth the pre-order.
Either way, until then, I will be watching closely with great anticipation for what's perhaps the biggest game ever made.